going on YouTube? We got a 2002 Camry V6 we're going to do the suspension on today. I'll show you the part numbers as we go along. And we bought this where it's already all put together. We don't have to deal with swapping shocks and springs and all that. So I'm going to go step by step, show you how to do this. Jack up the car, take a 19mm socket, take the wheel off. Next, we're going to just break these loose. So 14mm socket and a shitty torque wrench or a breaker bar. Don't use your good one for this kind of stuff. Just break these loose. Alright, now that we're under here, put a light so you can actually see what the hell you're doing. There's a little plastic clip on the front here. Just go ahead and pull that off. And then we're gonna remove this bolt right here, and that'll release the sensor wire and the brake line. Now that we have this off with the 12mm socket, this is all loose now. We're just gonna break these bottom bolts loose. It's a 22mm, so it's pretty big. Most people won't have it. I didn't have a wrench, I only had this one socket, so put a breaker bar and pop this loose. So we need to get the sway bar linkage off. What we're doing is 17mm socket, and we're gonna hit this with the impact gun just to break it loose. Then, more than likely, because it'll spin on the inside, use a ratcheting wrench or just a normal wrench, whatever you got. And then it's a 7/32 Allen key in the middle. So then you hold the Allen key and you pull the nut off. Correction, 6mm. Right now we have the car tilted, and you can see here how this is angled down. It's because the other side of the car is not jacked up, so it's putting pressure on the sway bar, pushing the sway bar up. So I'm gonna go jack up the other side, and then this will just slide right out. Now that we have the sway bar link out, I'm gonna use a crescent wrench on this side since I don't have another 22, and just take these nuts off. So I usually have one of these little hammers. So the one issue is that this shit's heavy. It's gonna pull that control arm down once you pop these out. So we're gonna take this jack that we have. We're just gonna support the bottom of the control arm. Just support it, don't lift it or any of that shit. Just support it, and then you're gonna knock out these bolts. I'm gonna go ahead and take a wire brush and get some of this corrosion off. Now that you have the bolts out, you just wiggle it, move the jack, and let this come loose. Now we're gonna remove the bolts from the top. Now we're back to the 14mm. You're gonna pull one almost all the way off, and then the other two you're gonna take all the way off. So you're gonna hold it up now, undo this top one, try not to lose the damn bolts, and then you're gonna just bring it out the bottom nice and smooth. Make sure you unhook your light and crap, and just pull it out. Now you're gonna make sure you got the right part. You're gonna have this little bracket here that holds the lines, and the sway bar bracket that goes right here. So these shiny ones are the ones that came with the struts. These obviously are the stock ones you just saw me take off. Now there's more thread on this than there is on these. So as long as the studs are long enough, I'm gonna use these factory bolts or nuts. So the factory nuts do fit, I'm gonna use these. Then this pan is facing out, the label, and this is facing out. So that's all good. Go ahead and torque these down, and then we'll go down to the bottom. Now you're gonna wanna manhandle this a little bit, and this is gonna probably have to rotate a little here, and you just need to line up the slot on this. So this will move this way, and then now that I have it in the groove, I'm gonna take the jack, raise the control arm until the bolt hole lines up, then slide the bolt through. Once you get the bolts through, go ahead and put these nuts on finger tight on both sides, then you can go ahead and put this clip back on since it's not in your way. Leave these alone because you're gonna have to get a wrench over here, and then we're gonna go ahead and tighten these up. Now that you have these torqued down, you're gonna take this. It has a tab and a hook here. You're gonna tab it in, and then the hole line up. Then you take the brake line, go from underneath, and that goes on top. And you put this 12mm bolt back in. So go ahead, put your sway bar end link back on. Take the nut, start the nut by hand. Get it as far as you can by hand, which for me seems to not be very far. Then we're gonna take our 6mm Allen head and our ratcheting wrench again, and we are going to tighten this thing down. Now that we have this tightened down, just double check everything. Make sure these are tight, the 12mm is tight, this 17mm sway bar one's tight, and that's it. I mean, just gotta toss the wheel back on, make sure the nuts on the top of the strut are tight, and that's how you do a front shock on this Camry. The other side is going to be identical, and just everything will be mirrored. So this will be on the other, towards the back. So when you're looking at it, it's all backwards. But other than that, we're done. So until next time, wrench on, guys.